What are the skills that you need in order to connect with people and get your story across, get your message across, and how do you do that effectively? So today, what we're going to talk about is video presentation skills. A lot of this relates to video, but much of this does also relate to in-person presentation as well. My 5 tips on creating amazing videos and also presentations. Number 1 is best foot forward. You literally have seconds to make a first impression. And you might think that that's BS. You might think that, oh, well, they should look beyond, or it's inside that counts. Okay, well, that's great. But they need to get past first their own judgments. We all bring our own stuff into every conversation. If this is the very first time that someone is seeing you, you have to have your best foot forward. That means a clean image, right? So what's the image that you're trying to portray? If you're talking about business tips and you're in a room, you're like in your bedroom and there's a pile of laundry behind you, that's probably not the best, right? What does your background say about you? What does your hair say about you? What does your makeup say about you? If you're in a fitness video, if you're trying to talk to people about fitness and you're wearing a business suit or a dress, like what does that say? So your image needs to portray exactly what your topic is. Just put your best foot forward and smile a lot. And I used to tell people, even when I would train them in my fitness certifications, I'm like, you breathe through your teeth. This is how you should be almost the whole class. That's the number 1, is we're very visual creatures. We want to see smiles. We want to see, put your best foot forward. The second thing is people make a very strong impression about your voice, about the quality of your voice. So of course you want to enunciate, you want to use enthusiasm in your voice. I would recommend when you're speaking, speak with tone, right? Speak with enthusiasm. You don't necessarily want to do a presentation where you're monotone you might be giving really good tips, but if your voice isn't excited, then people are just going to tune you out. The other thing that people will pick up on, and you might not think it, but listen back to National Wake Up Calls. If you have planned out exactly what you're going to say verbatim and you're reading it, people can hear that. So please don't do that. Okay? People can hear it if you're reading it. Because in normal conversation, we pause or we go, well, how can I say this? Or, but if you're like video presentation skills, your first impression is you need to have a clean image. Think about the image that you want to portray. The next is voice, right? So you would talk too perfectly if you're reading, okay? You're going to speak too perfectly. Then only like 5% of your first impression has to actually do with what you're saying. It's so low. So as long as you put your best foot forward, you got a clean image, you have excitement in your voice, people are going to have a better impression of you. Tip 2 is eye contact, of course. Helps people feel at ease. It helps them be relaxed. So if you have eye contact with them and you're smiling at them, the natural thing is that they will smile back at you, which makes you feel more comfortable and more confident. Creating that eye contact. How do you do that on video? Like I said before, you stare at that little tiny hole. The other thing that eye contact does is it builds trust with people. It's going to help them feel like they can trust you, which is great because we want people to feel like they can trust us. Hopefully we're trustworthy people. Usually we're not doing a business like this because we're slimy or scummy. I mean, that would be some other get rich quick thing. This is the type of thing that we need to build trust because let's face it, one challenge pack sale, if you even do that like 10 times a month, that's not going to sustain you. What sustains you is customers that stick with you, coaches that join your team, and coaches who build a team. And the only way you can do that is for people to trust you. The third thing that eye contact does, like I think I mentioned it before, was confidence. So it portrays confidence to them. Even if you're like, I am scared beepless out of my beeping mind, you're portraying confidence to them. You need people to feel like you got their back. Like, I got you. I'm going to handle this. I got you. I know no matter where you are, you know more than that person in this particular area. Okay? Even if you've been a coach for 1 day, you have 1 day's experience more than they have. Okay? So this eye contact will help portray confidence to them. The first thing that people think when you're not looking them in the eyes is either they can't trust you, maybe you're lying, or you don't believe in what you have to say. Third tip, preparation. If you're brand new, I'll say one thing. Find one tip that you're going to speak about. One thing. And maybe it's like a 1-minute video. Like, hey guys, I have one really critical tip for you into getting more done throughout the day. Are you ready for my tip? So one critical tip just to get more done throughout the day. And whatever your tip may be. If you are more on the advanced side, then maybe you could do like 5 tips, but they need to be bullets. Bullet point your tips. Like I'm looking at my notes here, of course, but each one has a number and then 3 quick bullets underneath, right? Because of course I'm not trying to memorize this, and I'm not trying to be fake by pretending that I'm not looking at it. Even when I do my video presentations or any type of tip live videos, I glance down at my notes, but here's bullet number 1 is 1 to 5 tips. That's what you want to do. You want to prepare 1 to 5 tips that you're going to share with people. Number 2 is launch into the info, whether people are on or not. Okay, I want to do a video about time-saving tips for busy moms. Okay. What do I want this person's takeaway to be? So at the end of the video, what do I want them to know? Okay, so you start with that in mind. Okay, I want them to know that they need to get their kid on a schedule. I'm just throwing things out there as I go. Okay, so getting kids on a schedule. So that's what I want the big takeaway to be. So how can I break that down into 1 to 5 tips? And then you create your bullets from there. All right. So that's what you want your number 1 takeaway to be. You create your bullets from there. And then once you start the presentation, you just launch into the information. You're like, hey, I've got 5 amazing tips for you today on how to get more done in a day, even if you are busy mom, just like me. Like I'm a busy mom, right? So know what the takeaway is, and then you create your bullets from there. Tip number 4 on video and presentation skills is to have a strong introduction. And I put this after what you're going to talk about, because when you create your introduction, you are going to custom craft it toward your topic. Partially. Have a strong introduction. The first thing you want to do probably is start with a question or an intriguing comment. For one, here's just staying with the same thing. You could say, are you tired of getting through the entire day and feeling like you got nothing done except for attend to your kids' every women need, like you got absolutely nothing accomplished? So there's like your question. You leap into the question. That's number 1. The second thing is you say your name and then your credibility. Hi, my name is Holly Hireman, and I am a very busy work from home mom of 2 toddlers, a 3.5-year-old and a 1-year-old. So boom, credibility. Because I'm a mom, I'm busy, I have my own business, I work from home, and I've got these kids that I'm taking care of at the same time. Tip number 3, I almost always finish with this, is be very gracious and just say thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate that you're here with me today. So you want to be gracious to them. You want to tell them how much you appreciate them. You want to tell them, that it's that you're grateful that they're watching live. Number 5, video and presentation tip. We need to take care of people. So we have to take care of them. So the 5th tip is take care of people. So no matter who you're talking to, no matter who's going to see the video later, no matter if you're in a one-on-one conversation, or you're doing a presentation, or whatever it is, people need to walk away with a good feeling about you and the experience they just had. Number 1, the best way to do that is through your energy and your positivity. Okay, people feel taken care of if you're being positive, if you're being energetic. The second thing is to remember it's not about you. Yes, you can use stories. Actually, stories are great because people will remember stories more than they're going to remember content. But it's not about you. It's about them. So how can you make it about them? You want to help that person develop their dream. And how do you do that? You do that through asking questions about their life, about their happiness, about their energy levels, about their fitness, about their relationships with people. Do they know anybody with diabetes? Do they know anybody with high blood pressure? Do you have anyone in your immediate circle of influence that you would like to help either feel better, eat healthier, diet and exercise, or even like financially. Do you know anybody who could make some extra income? So the more you can make it about them, the better. Just keep in mind, like, how do you want to make them feel? What's the goal? Like, how do you want to make them feel? So by the end of the presentation, do you want them to feel inspired? Do you want them to feel enthusiastic? Do you want them to feel like, hey, I could probably do this? One question that Christine uses all the time is, can't you just see that you're already naturally doing these things? You're already naturally sharing your fitness tips. You're already being an encouragement to other people. And you draw those parallels between who they are or what they want to do and then what this business has to offer for them. And so that's what she does. She says, can't you already see that you're already inspiring people? You're already helping people. You have this desire to do more. You really want to help your kids learn how to eat healthy so that they don't grow up with the same struggles that you have. Can't you already see that this is something that we can help you navigate? So what's the goal? How do you want to make them feel? And that's going to help you take care of them. So really quick, let's recap the 5 tips. Tip number 1 was put your best foot forward. Tip number 2 was eye contact. Tip 3, preparation. You got to be prepared. Tip 4, have a strong introduction. People need to know who they're talking to. If this is their only experience ever with you, what do they need to know about you in order to give you that credibility? All right. And then tip number 5 is to take care of people.